Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures. This is the place where you get to meet remarkable individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds who are making significant contributions to our communities. Joining us today is Madeline Longjohn and G. Sikwan. Joining me now is Madeline Longjohn, author, writer, scientist, an ideas consultant, and an entrepreneur. And she's a PhD candidate in the Department of Biochemistry at Memorial University. Welcome, Madeline.
Thanks for having me here. Thank you.
It is a pleasure. I should say congratulations on receiving a scholarship of over $35,000.
Yeah, well, I'm really honored.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about your research?
So my research is trying to understand how B cells, so these are cells that make antibodies. I think of them as the defenders of the human body. Think about the universe, how we have defenders of the universe, something like that. So B cells are part of those group of cells. Now, B cells make antibodies, and these antibodies help to fight infection. But in some cases, these B cells don't develop normally, and that could lead to certain diseases, one of which is a type of cancers that is prevalent in kids. So B cell lymphoblastic leukemia. So my research is trying to understand how to use nanoparticles that are released by all living cells, including these cells, how we can use that to be able to track and track how the disease is progressing. That's what my research is about.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And that, I'm sure, is really very necessary and important.
Yeah, so the more you understand, the more you can do, right? So we need to understand a lot more how the disease works, how these nanoparticles are involved, how we can use that. And so, yes, it's important.
Okay, right. And that will be helpful for when we're looking at treatment and cure for these diseases.
Yeah. Especially in the case of tracking relapse. So in this disease, it has a high cure rate initially, over 90%. But after that initial cure, we have these times when we get relapse, so disease comes back. And so when you get relapse, that is when there's a bit of a problem, because the chances of surviving after relapse or curing after relapse goes down. So it goes from like 90%, 90-something percent to about between 15 and 25%, which is like really drastic. So with the more we can understand using these nanoparticles, we will be able to effectively track and monitor and be able to predict effectively when relapse is going to occur based on the signatures that we've identified. But that is still a long ways off. We're still trying to understand. So, yeah.
There's always a way towards the end of the journey.
Yes.
And you're on it.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you made a statement, and I quote, "We are scientists, not women in science." Can you explain the distinction and why you wanted to make it?
True. Right. I said that because, I mean, you get to all of these places where you see people saying, so there is competition for everybody, and then there's a competition for women. And I'm like, these women are also in this field. So there is no standard that should be different, right? So when it comes to science, the knowledge a man has in science is the same knowledge a woman also has. So we are scientists, not women in science. Science is not like a planet that we're visiting as women. We have the right to be there. We learn the same thing. So that's why I made that.
It's fascinating, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, you're very busy. You've written a novel, Orange Butterfly. What was your motivation for that? And
that was a long time ago. I don't have time. I really want to write a sequel to that, and there's a book I've been wanting to write for so long, but there is no time. Yeah, so the motivation behind that was, I don't know, I just get these ideas. I guess I'm blessed in that way. I get these ideas of stories to tell, and with me, my stories always have a theme, always has a theme of no matter what's happening, there are things you can do to improve it, and digging deep into the human nature and understanding all of that. So while I was an undergrad, after toying with that idea for a long time, I finally put pen to paper and wrote it. And that's like one out of like several books I've written, but I've just not been able to follow up with anything. Yeah.
Yes, well, I'm sure the time will come for that.
Well, we'll see.
Yes. And you're also involved with Havana Health.
Right.
Tell me about that.
So that is my very precious baby. Again, I don't have time to deal with that child now, but I will deal with it eventually. So it's something I'm really passionate about. In lots of countries, it's not an issue in Canada or in places like the US or in the UK, but in third world countries, it's a real issue whereby there is no well-structured healthcare system. So a very good example is, I think before I was 10, I witnessed a young boy who got shot during a robbery, and he couldn't get treated. He was driven between different hospitals within a space of 3 hours, and he died in the course of that. Now, that could have been prevented if he could have gone on an app to say, I'm sick, I need to see a doctor, are you accepting patients? They say yes, or that one says no, and then his life could have been saved that way. But we don't have that. So, and the government hasn't provided that, which is where I came up with the idea of Havana Health, which is a healthcare app that would integrate all the hospitals in an area such that if you want to find a doctor, you don't physically have to start spending time going to find a doctor. You go on the app and say, I live here, or I need to find a doctor. Are you accepting patients? So that cuts down something that would have taken 3 hours or 2 hours, because we know how the terrain is in third world countries or countries that don't have these robust systems. It cuts down the time. Something you could have spent 2 hours on, now you just have 30, 20 minutes to spend on it just on the app. So it's something I wish someone would give me all the money I need to do it like now.
Oh, the word is out there.
Well, I'm ready to take the money.
Yes, because that will be so important in cutting down the time. And time is of the essence when it's a medical situation and someone needs help right away.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
And you're also the science and sports writer for the Muse newsletter at
Well,
Mom.
I am not writing as much as I used to, but I used to write quite a bit. So I love writing. Writing is my absolute first love because I love to read. So somehow, because I read a lot, somehow I write. So when I came to Mon and I found the Muse, and I thought, this would be a good time to volunteer somewhere and try to, or work with people that would help me hone one of my skills. And that would be useful for me as a scientist as well, because I want to be able to communicate my science. So the thing with me is I think everything is related. Every knowledge, no knowledge stands on its own. So I could use my knowledge as a writer or my abilities as a writer to make my science more accessible to the public. So I started to write for the Muse. I wrote for them for a while. I haven't had time to write lately, but every once in a while I take some time and throw an article. But yeah, I used to do it a lot more in my first year.
Right. Very thought-provoking articles as well. I must say I read some of them.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And I should say congratulations as well, because you were the 2020 Woman of Distinction Award winner for Science and Technology.
Yep, that was a huge surprise. Yeah, so it was a surprise. I'm really grateful to the wonderful person who nominated me. I just attended because I thought, well, I don't think I'll win, but I want to I want to be in the same room with such phenomenal women. That was my goal. That's why I went. Okay. And so they called me, and for the first few seconds, I couldn't believe it. People around me had to say, that was you, you have to go. I was like, what? Yeah. I couldn't believe it, but I was really honored. Yeah. Every time I think of it, I'm really honored.
And it's well-deserved, well-deserved.
Well, I hope so. I'll keep working.
Yes. Yeah. Well, as you know, Sharing Our Cultures, we work with high school youth to help them gain employability skills and social cultural skills. Yeah. And so if some of them are actually listening to us right now, what would you encourage them? How would you encourage them to pursue careers and activities that you've been involved in?
I would say know what you want. So I guess early on in life, like I said before, I read a lot. Reading a lot helps to shape you. Not just watching stuff, not just playing games and all of that. I would say to any young person out there, read books, read magazines, read those long articles that seem boring, read them. You're going to pick up something that will help. And that is how you slowly frame what you want. You have to find out what you want in life. And one way to get that is through reading and thinking and interacting with people. So there's lots of people out there willing to help, lots of organizations. Work with them, talk to them, explore your interests, and go in that direction. And then work hard. That's the most important thing, work hard. Not just work hard as in putting the hours, work hard as in work smarter. Like know what works best for you. Some people study better in the day, others study better at night. Know which category you fall into and use that. Go for your strengths. Don't be afraid to push yourself. Like you are capable of so much more than you can ever imagine. I say that as a person who has had to overcome lots of obstacles, who has been told you can't do it. And every time I hear that, I go back and I work through, and somehow, and God helps me, because I'm a Christian, God helps me as well, and then, so you can do it. Know what you want, work hard, and the sky is only the starting point. Just believe in yourself, is what I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was your experience when you had to come here and start at MON?
Yes.
It was a lot of hard work. And I used to think that I was busy until I read everything that you do. And I was like,
well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm cutting down stuff because focus on one thing and get it done right. So it's an ongoing process. So you think you learn. The more you learn, I read somewhere, or I guess it's popular, the reward for a job well done is more work. So when you get past one stage, know that more work is waiting for you. But because you did it before, means you can do it even better. So you have everything it takes. Right. So keep pushing, keep going. I'm pushing every day. Sometimes I stop and I cry. I stop and I cry because I'm overwhelmed. I am exhausted. That is normal and part of the journey. It's so normal, but keep going, keep pushing, because what you will do will help someone. It may not. It's not about the recognition. It's not about that. The goal is to make impact. I always think I want to make sure that someone is able to do something because modeling persevered. I always think of that. I want someone to be able to not die. Someone to be able to get to a hospital quicker because modeling persevered, or that is my driving force. And so it will be tough. It is always tough. Don't feel bad about stopping to cry. Don't feel bad about not being able to, feeling like you can't do it. Cry, stop crying, and keep going. Those are my words.
That's all part of being human, the crying and the laughter and the hard work and
so
perseverance. Yes. So you are truly a role model, and young people will look up to you and for that inspiration.
Well, I'm looking up to you as well. So.
Well, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
taking
much.
time. Thank you. Joining me now is G. Sikwan. He's the owner-operator of G Salon, and he's a well-renowned stylist. Welcome, G.
Thank you, Ludetta, for having me here. I'm glad we're here now talking about,
Yes, I'm so happy to have. So now tell me why you decided to establish G Salon.
Well, first of all, I'm not from here, so I'm from the Philippines, of course, and then this is my passion and love. Ever since when I was young, I want to be a stylist and help people and give job. Like being a stylist is very much more tricky, because we're holding the most important part of a person, which is the head. Like you cannot go to their office just to touch it, just to chat, but at least we make you beautiful inside out, and you give hope to those people who have really problem with their hair, like us, like we're the key people, especially now in COVID things happen. So this is the only thing that can make people smile, take out those stress, go to the salon, the legal ways, okay, to make you happy and won't spend a lot.
Okay, so I know that you just mentioned you're from the Philippines.
Yes.
So what brought you to Newfoundland Labrador to start this business?
Healing.
Okay.
I work at L'Oreal from Paris, so from there, I'm done doing those things, those flashy things. So I'd like to do and go and silent place, clean place, because I'm not getting any younger. I don't know why. Like one time I woke up, I said, I need to relax and I want to go back to the basic, which I work at the salon. Like literally 14 years of age, I'm start doing hairdressing already. And then As I woke up, I'm here in St. John's.
Okay, well, we're happy that you're here. And what was your experience like? I mean, so you were here and you were new to this province. And what was your experience like trying to set up? Like, how did you know where to go, who to call, what to do? Like, just how did you get that done?
Okay, I've been hired as stylist at Chatters. I worked there for 4 years. I'm so thankful I got it. Then I met also my client. From for those years, they supported on me. And then after 4 years, I decided to put up my own. Because this province is a very great people, one of my best places ever I've been. Great people, of course, the weather, I love it. And simplicity, I think as you're getting older, it will change your perception. Like, St. John's, I think this is the proper place to start with and encourage people who's not from here also, who are so dedicated and they have skills and wasting that, like me, everyone is welcome to go business here. And I'm so happy the government of Canada helped us to open this business. Actually, yesterday I just opened my second branch in Mount Pearl. I wasn't even, no, like 3 years. Then afterwards, I have another baby come in and yeah.
Okay. So, and you are bringing, so you're employing locals, you're employing newcomers as well. So, how many do you have now with you, and how are you planning to expand? Now, you said you already opened one in Mount Pearl, so what are your plans?
Actually, my plan is just to establish my business first.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine called me from Kamloops in Vancouver, and then the other one is from Toronto in Mississauga. They have difficulties doing their paperwork. And Canada, here in Newfoundland, we're so happy because it's so lenient. So they're open to anyone. So I think that's a time, and that's my dream actually, to give people jobs. This is what we need here, not only in this province, but all over the world. This is the best thing ever, to give jobs to someone else who need. It's like, it's a life. You know what I mean? It's so happy because for myself, I'm fulfilled.
Yes.
I have everything. Maybe this is my call. I'm a believer, Julieta. Like, it's really hard, like, if you work and if you're not happy with your work. And those people who came to me, now I have like 3, and then I have coming more because I'm planning to expand.
Okay. So the one in Mount Pearl, you sort of have workers there as well?
Yeah, we have
employees
2.
that-
We have Filipino with them.
Okay.
I'll be working aside from them. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I have local.
Right, as well, yes. And I know, of course, I've been to your salon and you get treated royally. I think I'm a queen when I'm there getting my hair.
That's supposed to be. That's supposedly. Like salon, you can sit down, relax, not to stress. Because as you go back, it's like an icebreaker. Like, you know what's going on now. This is the best way to make you smile, to bring back the hope. Encourage people. That's not the end of the world. Right. Go to your salon, not literally on my salon, but you should try. But you should pamper yourself. Ladies especially, but especially men. There's a lot of men, like literally so vain to their hair already. They know, like 30 minutes chatting, we're done. They'll come out because that's a success to me. As my client walk out to the salon and happy, that's the best thing that you can give to human, to smile, to bring back the smile.
Right. And I know some people who've been socially isolated because of the pandemic, and some people have lost jobs, but sort of going there, it's part of the self-care. There's a lot of talk about that, how you got to take care of yourself.
Yes, this is our key, not in the hospital. The best place to do the self-care, beauty. You have to renew your beauties. I don't mind doing it because we give free tips like this pandemic. I give everyone free tips or whatever in your own home care. So there's always be a cure. There always be ways. We find ways to make us happy. Okay, this is not the end of the world. This is just the starting.
Yes.
And we learned a lot from this pandemic.
Yeah.
So me, I'm happy. This pandemic came in.
Right. Why?
Realization. I've learned how to relax as well, and the importance of lives.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm much more careful. People, I'm so happy because before they don't care. I'm like the mask, blah blah. I don't care. The mask. It's the maybe this is the story. This is God's given to us just to learn a lot of things because sometimes we will call God if we need something. We will sick.
Yeah.
But this one may be like a joke. Now you will learn now. So when you go back to normal, at least we'll be more careful, right?
Yes. We will sort of value
people more, yeah.
than maybe before.
We see a lot of love happenings, a lot of giving, sharing.
Yes.
But when there's no pandemic, a lot of war. Now here, we should be smile again. We go back, thanks. This pandemic happened, so we're beautiful again. Renew our beauties, right?
Yeah. So if someone wants to start a business here, what would you advise them? What would you recommend them to do?
Okay, I believe every person has a talent, skills. All you have to be passion, love, and you don't have to have a lot of money. If you have skill, I believe that because sometimes people are so complacent, lazy. They just want happiness. You know, those lucky. I don't believe in lucky. You should work harder, harder and harder if you want to get success. And success for me, like me, I'm literally shallow. If I make people happy, beautiful, that's it.
Right.
I'd be proud. Like, you know, I made your hair. I'm proud you came to my chair to make you beautiful.
Right.
That's people need. That's people need must learn how to appreciate for what they have. You don't have to aspire a lot.
Okay, so when people come here, though, and they're new, they don't usually know other people. How do they start building that kind of network?
Of course, friendship or government of Canada is helping us. I'm telling you, we're so fortunate. We're here in this province. We're here in Canada, the best place on earth to start new life. They want, you know, they will help you, the little thing. It's tricky because there's a lot of application thing, blah, blah. As long as you're talented and you know where you're going, try to learn. Phone call, check the internet. If you don't know, just find someone, make friend, and ask those info. So then you can get, and then you have to work for it. You cannot just do this, and then you're successful. No, success is not overnight.
Right. Okay. So we know that in St. John's, you're in an island. What are there any challenges bringing a lot of your supplies into the province?
No, we find ways, as I told you, like me, stylist. Of course, I work for L'Oreal, most high-tech. We have a great supply who really help for newcomers. In fact, we have the #1 best product here. The only thing is education. We should educate which one is proper.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to do this. I want to educate more people who has talent to do the hairdressing. We have a beautiful places here in St. John's, beautiful people and talented.
Okay.
This is my second home.
Okay, that's great. I'm sure I'd like you to stay here.
Yes.
Right. So what about new students who've completed their training in hairstyling and they're looking for a place to work?
Well, they are welcome. They are welcome because we're expanding. So I'm willing to train them for free. For free. I meant that in this national television. I'm really willing to help them and mentor them for free. If you are only had a passion and love and hairdressing, I can help you.
Okay.
You can just come by and talk to our manager. We have Eric who's in charge for those things. They will help you and lead you to your path.
Right. Yes. It is a very welcoming place, I must say. When I first walked in, I think Eric was the person who welcomed me. I felt very much at home there.
Yeah, you know, because we're from the Philippines, hospitality is #1 key for if you're Filipino. No matter what color you are welcome to our salon, and we'll make you smile.
Right.
And we're lenient. You know, it's so easy because we want you to feel home.
Right. Yeah. So what's it like for you having your traditional food, culture, music here?
Okay. In food, actually, I'm sharing it to my clients while doing their color. I'm not ashamed to share my food.
Okay.
You know, you have to cook a best food because that's your gas. You know what I mean? You should cook a decent one and healthy one. You know, we only live once. Those smile you won't get that when you're in the hospital bed already. So do your hair, eat, share our culture. We sing a lot at the salon. This is, you know, that's a salon. Salon make you joy. Not just like boring, you will say, no, it's not. I changed those methodology. We want you to smile happy until you get home, and then now through your word of mouth, you will spread those words, your experience to our wonderful salon. So I like cooking food. You know that Ludete everything.
Yes, that's true. And it makes people feel, I mean, I think
Yes,
food
welcome.
is universal, no matter what it crosses all cultures, and people feel that.
Yeah, this is our culture. We have to share. That's why we're here. I love it. So I'm so happy I'm here.
Right. And we're so happy to have you, and thank you.
Thank you, Ludeta. I
Thank
love
you.
you, and thank you for inviting us again. And
Thank
yes,
you.
see you maybe on another branch.
Yes.
Invite me, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And sharing our cultures, we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you for joining us with Conversations with Madeline Longjohn and G. Sikwan. Join us again for more remarkable stories on sharing our cultures.